Christy Martin versus Laila Ali is the biggest fight in the history of women's boxing. That was an unprecedented fight that pitted the two most savage boxers in women's boxing. Two women who had become boxing superstars and who took boxing feminine at another level. Christy Martin was the first superstar that existed in women's boxing, and Mike Tyson said that she fought like him. Christy Martin started boxing without having ever set foot in a boxing gym in her life. One day, she told her friends that she could fight, and in that first fight, she knocked out her rival with a single punch. From that moment on, Christy realized that she could have a future in boxing, and she dedicated herself completely to boxing. Christy Martin became a celebrity and boxing superstar. She became the main figure of pay-per-view fights. All this after one of the backup fights was a Mike Tyson fight. In that fight, Martin stole the show since their fight was wild and better than Tyson's fight. Martin was a very charismatic girl, and her fights were a guaranteed spectacle, which made her gain popularity to the point of her being the first female boxer represented by Don King. Christy Martin holds the record for most knockouts in the history of women's boxing with 32 knockouts and 49 victories. She was undefeated for a decade and was the first female boxer to appear on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Laila Ali, daughter of the legendary Muhammad Ali, is one of the best boxers in history, but she was not really interested in being a boxer. Ali spent her entire adolescence studying and working as a manicurist, and her father did not want her to be a boxer due to the high risks that this sport entails. Laila Ali did not become interested in being a boxer until she was 19. At that age, Laila Ali curiously saw Christy Martin's fight against Deirdre Kogarly, and that fight inspired her to immerse herself in boxing. She has the highest knockout percentage in history with 87.5%. Laila had 24 victories as a professional boxer, and 21 of them ended by knockout. Laila Ali, by the simple fact of being the daughter of Muhammad Ali, was already a recognized boxer, but her popularity exploded to the maximum when she fought against Jackie Frazier, the daughter of Joe Frazier, who was probably the greatest rival that Muhammad Ali had. Jackie, and at that time he had a record of 7 wins and 0 losses, and had knocked out all his rivals. Laila versus Jackie was a very successful fight, since people took that fight as a continuation of the trilogy that Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier had in the past. That fight was the first women's fight in history to be the main event of a pay-per-view. Laila Ali ended up winning the fight by majority decision, and that victory made her an overall boxing superstar. That fight happened on August 23, 2003. The one who was interested in that fight was Martin, and that was crazy since both boxers were from different weight divisions and the physical difference was abysmal. But Laila did not reject that fight because it was a massive fight, and she was going to earn a lot of money for fighting Martin. Also, Christy Martin was the boxer who inspired Laila to start her professional career. That was a perfect example of when your idols become your rivals. Laila Ali had a 16-centimeter height advantage over Martin. Christy Martin was a boxer who usually fought under 147 pounds, while Laila Ali was a boxer who fought at 168 pounds. The weight difference was enormous, and it was evident what was going to happen in that fight. But they were the two most popular boxers at the time, and both Martin and Ali created an intense rivalry that created enormous hype among the fans. The fight was evidently a beating. Laila Ali destroyed Christy Martin and only needed 4 rounds to give Martin a savage beating that ended in a knockout. It is said that Laila Ali and Christy Martin earned $250,000 as a base salary for that fight, and that is not including the bonuses for pay-per-views sold. It is not known exactly how many pay-per-views Martin and Ali sold, but it is believed that it was the largest amount of women's boxing history.